What's up gamers, welcome back to another episode of Video Game Gems. I'm Ginge the Ripper, let's play a game. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess is one of, if not my favorite Zelda game. Of all the Ocarina of Time-esque games, Twilight Princess was the pinnacle of the franchise. Nintendo went with a more realistic art style and mature theme to appeal to the Western audience, who weren't big fans of the Wind Waker art style at the time, and it worked. Twilight Princess went on to become one of the biggest and most successful games in the franchise. Until Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess's Link went on to become Nintendo's mascot for the series. Twilight Princess had the most assets of any Zelda game at the time, so much so that Nintendo wanted to create a side game reusing some of those assets. The final product was Link's Crossbow Training. Green accidentally broke the crossbow, so I'm gonna have to use the cheap one that came with the game. Little is known about the development of the game. Shigeru Miyamoto was the one who suggested that the game be centered around the Wii Zapper, and believed it didn't need an epic story to be fun. Ironically, Miyamoto also pitched an idea where Link would be sent forward in time so he could use an actual firearm, only to be immediately turned down by the rest of the team.
Haha! Take this, Ganon!
Like most Wii games, you can use a Mii character to identify your profile. Should you choose not to, there are several Link heads you can choose from, each with a different colored hat in reference to Four Swords.
Nice! We're getting reprised! Let's just get this over with so I can go back to babysitting Mama. Can I use a gun? Maybe this was a bad idea.
This is the only time the hero of Twilight has ever worn the purple tunic. It doesn't appear in the main game or in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This was one of two fun facts I left out of my Four Swords video because I planned on making this video ahead of time and didn't want to spoil it. The other fun fact is in the same boat. It's part of a game I'll be reviewing in the future. Link's Crossbow Training takes the player through different areas of Hyrule shooting targets and enemies. There are a total of 9 different courses with 3 levels each. You are ranked with a bronze, silver, gold, or platinum crest based on how well you do and the points you earn. The first 3 courses are automatically unlocked when starting a new game. From there, you have to earn a bronze crest in each of the courses to move on. When firing at targets, you gain more points for hitting the center, while the worth of enemies are based on strength and rarity. Your points double with every target or enemy you hit in succession. If you manage to hit all the targets in a stage, you'll get a big reward that will also increase the higher your combination chain is. There are several different types of stages in Link's Crossbow Training. There are target levels where you hit as many targets as you can before time runs out, stationary levels where you fire at enemies from all directions, hunting levels where you search and kill enemies in a small area, riding levels where you shoot enemies and targets along a moving path, and finally, boss levels. Enemies and targets aren't the only things you can shoot at. Pots, barrels, scarecrows, pumpkins, the list goes on. As long as you hit something that gives you points, you won't drop your combination chain. Most of these items won't give you a lot of points, and you have to be quick as the targets won't wait for you. But it's important to search these items because there are various gold pieces hidden throughout the stages. Each gold piece is worth 1,000 points, however that number decreases the longer it is airborne, so you need to shoot them quickly to get the max number of points. Scarecrows work a little differently from most background targets. Shooting the body will cause the head to grow. The bigger the head, the more points the scarecrow is worth. After 8 shots, the head will reward you with 1,000 points. In target levels, if you manage to bank 1,000 points from a scarecrow, a second one will appear later in the stage. Get another 1,000 points and you'll be taken to a secret area that gives out much more points than the original path. Scarecrows are found in other stages as well, but I haven't been able to find more than one. So as far as I can tell, you can't access any secret areas in these levels. I didn't go too crazy digging through Link's Crossbow Training like I do other games, so there's a good chance there are plenty of secrets I haven't found. In the first stage of Course 5, Ukas fly around carrying targets. When the timer runs out, they drop the targets, and while airborne, the targets are now worth 300 points instead of 10, and hitting the center will reward you with a whopping 500 points. The second stage of Course 3 is a fruit balloon challenge where you shoot giant Matryoshka balloons shaped like fruit. The smaller the fruit, the more points they're worth, and for every 8 balloons you hit in succession, a meteor will appear that you can shoot for a cool 300 points.
Link's Crossbow Training is points galore. You make points to earn points.
Huh, that reminds me of another game.
Shiny!
was right. Video games really did rot my brain. Not mine.
Boss levels drop the combo requirement for a high score and instead focus on speed. The quicker you defeat the boss, the bigger reward you'll earn. This is done so you don't have to focus on being too accurate and can instead focus on doing as much damage as possible. You don't have to defeat the bosses to complete their courses, but it's much more satisfying to land that final blow.
Seriously, why can't we Someone take that away from him.
Link's Crossbow Training has a practice mode where you can play the stages individually without having to play through an entire course. Your scores are saved so you can challenge yourself to optimize your performance and show off your target shooting skills.
God, stupid target! I swear it's moving on me!
In multiplayer mode, up to 4 players take turns playing through various levels of their choosing. Unfortunately, Nintendo didn't incorporate a multiplayer co-op mode, probably because they didn't think players would go out of their way to purchase more Wii Zappers just to play this game. Too bad Nintendo couldn't see 15 years into the future. After each player has taken their turn, the scores are tallied and the one with the most points is the winner.
Psych!
So, is Link's Crossbow Training a gem? Absolutely. Link's Crossbow Training is more than just a simple shooting game. Nintendo went out of their way to make the game as entertaining as possible. It's not a very long game, it can be beaten in a day, and even 100%ed if you're a quick learner. But it's a small part of gaming history that showed how much love and passion was put into Twilight Princess. So much so that Nintendo wanted to make a second game. It's not perfect, but I'm glad my siblings and I were able to play this game growing up. It gave us a lot to look forward to until we could get our hands on Twilight Princess. Thank you all so much for watching, and keep on gaming.